All right, you guys are good to go.
Great, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. We are starting our work session meeting this evening. Prior to this, we were in executive session going over personnel and contract items. So now I'd like to call this meeting to order. Actually, this is our first meeting, which is a regular meeting, which I'm calling to order now at 7:11. Julie, could you do roll call, please?
Sure. Barbara Dayton,
Here.
Dave Conlon,
Here.
Tim Frazier,
Here.
Pat Brabant,
Here.
Amy Rivera.
Great, thanks, Julie.
Sure.
Jody, if you have a flag to put up for us, and then we will all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Great, thank you very much. If we could all rise, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible,
with
liberty
liberty
and justice for all.
Great, thank you very much. This is a brief regular meeting. We are approving a bid for the roof over the junior high gym. So I will just read that resolution right now, and there we go. So whereas the Spring Union Free School District, the school district requested sealed bids for the project entitled Spring School Roof Reconstruction, the project, whereas the district received an open bid proposals for the provision of labor and materials for spring school roof reconstruction, general contract GC1, whereas the school district's architect reviewed and evaluated said bid proposals, and whereas based upon said review and evaluation of the submitted bid proposals by the architect, the district administration recommends that the Board of Education award spring school roof reconstruction general contract GC1 to DME Construction Associates as the lowest responsible bidder, and now therefore be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the district administration, the Board of Education awards contract spring school roof reconstruction general contract GC1 work in the amount of $534,226 to DME Construction Associates as follows. Base bid number GC1 at $525,126. Add alternate GC1 to 2, mansard roof, $9,100. Total contract, $534,226. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn the regular meeting?
Motion.
I make the motion.
I think Pat seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you.
I said aye too.
Okay, so at this time, I would like to call our work session to order. Julie, do you need to do roll call again, actually?
Oh, no, because we're not breaking, so it's fine.
Great. So we have a few items on our list this evening. I think the hot topic of the weekend has been the mask mandate requirements and the changes that have been going on. So Deb, if you'd like to update everyone with the latest, that would be great.
Thank you, Barbara. So late Friday, we received a letter from the New York State Department of Health Commissioner, Dr. Zucker, and it was addressed to the CDC, letting the CDC know that the New York State Department of Health intended to revise the Executive Order 202.60, which required all staff and students, as well as visitors, to wear masks on school grounds. Students and staff in the schools and camps were encouraged, especially in high-risk circumstances, to continue to wear the mask, but not require the mask, vaccinated or unvaccinated. That was the intent of the letter that he sent to the CDC. Many districts took this letter to mean districts could unmask starting Monday, June 7th. Our attorneys advised us that this was absolutely not the case, that the letter was addressed to the CDC. It was not addressed to the districts as a guidance to consider unmasking. It was to let districts know what the Department of Health was doing. Districts were promised guidance from SED by the close of the weekend. We received the SED guidance on Sunday afternoon, which confirmed that we were to stay masked on school grounds pending further direction from the New York State Department of Health and or the CDC or the governor's executive orders. Spring School was in conversation with East Hampton and Montauk, wanting to be consistent and to continue to be in compliance. And we all stayed masked today without any incident or concerns. As of today at 11:30, the governor did hold a press conference, which I listened to, and the governor announced that based on the CDC's response to Dr. Zucker's letter that was sent on Friday, there would be no change to indoor mask mandates for students and staff and visitors. However, he did announce that school districts would have the discretion to remove mask mandates when students and staff are outdoors. We wait for that guidance in writing. There will be either an executive order that changes the 202.60, or there will be an update from the New York State Department of Health with that guidance. There was no mention of buses at this time, so we need them to address our buses. School districts have been advised not to make any changes to their policies or procedures until we have the guidance in writing. But tonight I am recommending, since the board is together, that the board pass a resolution to permit masks to be removed when outdoors, consistent with what we anticipate to be the governor's either executive order or the Department of Health's guidance. Throughout these past 15 months, Spring School has followed the New York State Department of Health guidance, as well as executive orders, and even went above and beyond. The health and safety of our students and staff were always driving our decisions. We have 3 weeks left of school. We will continue to make decisions that are responsible and good for our students and staff. I ask that the parents continue to be patient. As soon as we have more information, even if it's a Sunday night, we will get that information out to our parents and to our staff. Barbara, you may want to open this topic for discussion at this time.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Talking away there. Yes, because we always have, in work sessions, we have public commentary during each one. So just to clarify, what you were asking for a resolution from the board would be that once you receive the written directive, then upon that, we will automatically go to what they're recommending so that you're ready to go without getting the board back together again. But this does not mean that tomorrow it's no mask at recess. But if something should come out in the morning that they say that's okay, then would you let students know during the day that they can take them off at recess time?
Correct.
Okay. So, so let's, does any of the board have any questions at this time before we open it up to the public?
Yeah, hopefully that we get that feedback soon. Not feedback, we get that from
With the masks being allowed to be removed outside as soon as possible.
Right. And it probably is the kind of things that we should, since it will be no longer be mandated. I suppose some parents might want their kids to still wear them. They might want to prepare their kids beforehand that if we say this during the day, then, kids know what sort of course of action they should be following for their parents, correct?
Correct. That would be advisable. And we'll put something out to our parents. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. So, Jody, we will be taking public commentary at this time if you have anybody calling in.
Currently, there's no callers on the line.
Okay. All right. Maybe the subject matter is very clear cut and
It
nobody has
was
a question about it.
it was a very confusing weekend, Barbara.
Yes, it was. But, I think all the schools corresponded with their parents, and I think it spelled things out for people. So, why they did that to us on a Friday, I don't know, but they did. So, Jody, are there any callers at this time?
There's still no callers on the line.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. So, if this requires a resolution, I realize we just got out of a regular meeting. Do we need to go back into a regular meeting at the end of the work session to approve a resolution?
I would, Barbara.
Okay. And do you have a resolution prepared? Does Julie have something?
Yes, Julie does.
All right, great. So when we're done with the work session, we will open another public meeting and pass the resolution on how we move ahead with the mask mandate.
I appreciate that, Barbara, because it could be, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and I would hate for the students to have to, be masked up outside, waiting
Right.
for the board to meet.
Yeah. No, this is a good way to handle it. Okay.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, we've been talking about a 9-period day, and I know that Christine has some information for us.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you to the board. So tonight, after many weeks of toiling over schedules and, looking at some upcoming hiring and other aspects of, running the K-8 program, which, as we know, can get a little complicated because we are, in fact, running 3 schools in one: a primary grade school, a middle grade school, and a junior high or middle school. I believe the administrative team has settled on a 9-period day. And I just want to give you a quick synopsis of why that is our recommendation. So if you would just bear with me, I will present. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Is it showing yet?
No.
No. Okay. Well, let me take it through you verbally as I work on getting it visually. So when we last spoke, I believe I presented 2 options, Plan A and Plan B, and we discussed, or the board was able to discuss, the pros and cons of each option. The Plan B was the 9-period day, and that is in fact what we are looking at. And the reasons, so what the 9-period day would look like, essentially, bell to bell, 43-minute periods, same arrival and dismissal times, 8:20 a.m. and 3:11 p.m. It would be 3 lunch and recess periods as opposed to 2 that we have now. K-5, they would have 3 PE classes per week, which meets the state mandate. They would have 1 to 2 specials per day. Currently, they only have 1 special per day. With that extra period in each day, we are able to do some creative programming, which is exciting, and give them 1 to 2 periods of specials per day. STEAM and Spanish, we did listen to some of the concerns about the STEAM program and the Spanish program for especially the K-5 students. And we did get creative and figure out a way, depending on upcoming hiring, we figured out a way to be able to accommodate both STEAM and Spanish programs in the K-5 elementary program. 6 through 8 will get PE 2 to 3 times a week on an AB schedule, which also meets state PE standards and mandates. And they will get their specials as per unit hours that they need. And that will be either 1 quarter or a half of year, depending on which specials they are. Of course, they'll get PE all year, but things like FACS and some of the other specials like art and music, they'll get a half a year. And then grades 6, 7, and 8 will get Spanish every day. And that's a change from what we're used to. This year, 6th grade only got Spanish once a week, once or twice a week, depending. And next year they will get it every day, just like 7th and 8th grade. So some of the benefits of this particular model is that it meets all New York State mandates, which makes us very happy, particularly PE, because we were out of compliance there for a while. And we have this big, beautiful new gym to give our kids a nice PE program. So that's, I think, a step in the right direction. It's aligned with the district's mission of providing a robust and, well-rounded curriculum for our students. It gives us, like I said, a chance for more creative programming at K through 8, especially the K through 5 levels. And we have some good ideas up our sleeves, but we have to work that out over the summer with our curriculum committees. No missed specials for students. Students who are in the accelerated programs in 6th, 7th, and 8th math and science, as well as students that receive academic support services, tend to miss specials in an 8-period day. So the 9-period day will allow for them to have their support and their enrichment and also attend their specials. It also accommodates early sports dismissal for grades 7 and 8. Those will be specials at the end of the day. So if they do miss a special, it will be because they are on their way to play a sports game. Additional period for academic support or enrichment, and that can be used K through 8, whether we choose to push in for reading support at the primary grades, or whether we do sort of an advisory period for 6, 7, and 8, where kids can get some academic support that they need, or some academic, to be pushed a little bit and maybe accelerated in other areas besides math and science. Again, the details will come when we have a chance to talk to the staff about their ideas and how we can best utilize some of these periods. More specials K through 5. Again, we would like to reintroduce, STEAM and Spanish. Safer and age-appropriate recess. Right now, we have some of the little guys outside running around with some of our middle school students. Even just passing in the halls at the same time can get a little bit hairy. So we would like to make it age-appropriate and decrease the number of bodies out at recess at one time. And increase the staff to student ratio so that everybody's safe and the little guys can play together and the middle-aged grades can play together and the junior high kids can hang out together. And last but not least, there will be more planning time built in with a 9-period schedule for K through 5 teachers. Currently, they have 1 prep per day with an additional 2 preps built in for planning and training. That will increase based on this new schedule. And it also helps to build equity amongst the K through 8 staff so that the teachers are also getting the time that they need to plan appropriately for best practice and tight instruction. So I'm sorry I'm not able to get this up right now. I don't know if John Gibbons has any advice.
It's up.
Oh,
Christine,
you got it.
Yes.
Okay. This is the old one.
Okay.
This is not the one I was talking off of.
Okay. Well,
But it gives you the same idea. It gives you the same idea if you go to Plan B.
Yep. Plan B has everything you spoke about.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add that I did speak to our Spanish teachers regarding Spanish, and they really feel like having Spanish every day in the 6th grade is going to be a game changer for our students. If they had their magic wand and they could have anything, they would have the Spanish in 6th grade every day versus, once a week or, on the elementary level spread out over a few years. So that's coming directly from our Spanish department. And they really feel that this would benefit them and their students in 7th and 8th grade.
And I just wanted to piggyback a little bit. I know I had proposed a half day monthly for planning time and training time for our teachers. Because of the 9-period schedules and because of the additional planning time, I would like to table that proposal for now. I think that there's enough change with the 9-period schedule, and I think that we've built in enough time for everybody going forward. I mean, maybe we could revisit that at some point, but for now, I would like to table that proposal if you don't mind.
Okay, consider it tabled, and I'm glad that it sounds like you've been able to work out all of the concerns with this schedule, so that's really exciting.
We're really excited, Barbara, because, we don't want to just go back to how everything was. We want to come back better. We want to come back stronger, and we want the kids to come back not only, getting the content that they need, but really coming back and getting excited about what they're learning and love being at school. Everybody had a tough year, but I think we all learned that being in person in front of your teacher is the place to be. And I think it just gives us more opportunity for really enhancing our programs and hearing from the kids what gets them excited and motivated and keeps them engaged and helps them to learn and gets them ready, gets them ready for high school.
Yeah, that's great. And this really seems like an amazing time to be having, relooking at the schedule with the new building. And after, as you said, having such a, strange year for everybody. So I think our kids will be really excited this fall when they come back with all the new things.
Yep, that's our hope. So thank you for your considerations. Does anyone have any questions?
I was just saying I like the idea where those specials are available for all kids with the 9 period, which I think is great.
Yeah, that was always tough when some kids would have to miss out for being pulled out, and that never really seemed fair. So I'm very glad that's part of this.
With everything going on, a 9 period schedule just makes total sense, giving you the flexibility as administrators to really work with the staff to make sure there's a good variety of courses offered, but also time to plan and time for professional development. So I don't see any way you could have done it with eight periods. Kids are going to have a little bit less every period, but I think they'll have a much more enriched schedule because of the 9 period day than they would have before.
And
maybe even next year you can look at some block scheduling, and especially for the middle school kids.
And the half-day professional development, 1 day a month, that was going to be a difficult conversation, which we don't have to have. So that's
great. Yeah.
You're welcome, Dave. Now, it's just probably not the right time. I think it would be valuable. I think, we have a lot going on, and it's not the right time. And I think if we can see how the 9 periods go and evaluate as it goes and get everybody's input, I think that, that would kind of be a smart way to go.
Yeah, definitely make those steps first before we think about something else. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think you're doing the right. I want to thank you. You put a lot of time and effort into it, and it's a major change, just the 9 periods. And there's going to be a major change, new gymnasium, everything. Like you said, it's going to be a whole new world next year there.
Yeah.
New principal, full time, every day. And so it's going to be good. I like the changes you're doing. So it's great. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you to the rest of the administrators, too, who have helped out so much with all of this. Thanks, Carrie and Deb and Maria Mondini and everybody else, all the support staff. It takes a village, as they say.
Yeah, I can imagine this was a lot of work trying to get this all figured out. So, yeah, good job. We are going to take public commentary for each topic. So if anyone is calling in right now, we will give you a minute to do that. And okay, so actually we've already gone on to the next topic, which is the professional development of a half-day monthly, which is being tabled. So we can go into talking about snow day, or do you want to talk about the summer curriculum writing, since whichever you prefer?
We'll get the snow day out of the way. I did
Okay.
speak with East Hampton today. They have 3 snow days built into their calendar. We have 2. I know our parents want us to be consistent. This memo that I've attached for the board is a pilot program for the upcoming school year. They are permitting districts to go remote on snow days versus calling a real snow day. We had a very long Memorial Day weekend because we went remote on those snow days. I did check with East Hampton, as I said, they are going to do 2 of their 3 snow days are going to be traditional snow days. If we follow them and we have more than 2 snow days, we will have 2 traditional snow days and we won't have a long Memorial Day weekend. If we go past the 2 snow days, East Hampton is going to go remote. So all of the other vacations would be intact because if you recall, once you've used those snow days that are attached to Memorial Day weekend, you start to kick into your April break or your Easter break, which nobody likes to do because most people have plans to go away, airfare, reservations. So it's really up to us, but this is the year if we wanted to continue to pilot the remote. The state is allowing us to do that as long as your remote instruction is similar to your daytime instruction. And, we don't do art, music, PE on remote. We just do our core subjects. So students do have a chance to get a break for lunch, recess, and when they were having their specials, they could get outside on a snow day. It's all a matter of preference. For us this year, I think it worked out really well. There was some concern that we were doing away with a tradition, but if you want to know what East Hampton is doing, that's what East Hampton is doing. So their first 2 snow days will be true snow days.
Right.
Not a decision you have to make now. I do have to let the state education department know when we set up our calendar.
Okay. We can also say we're going to be part of this program, but then have a regular snow day and not do it remote, or we will have the choice at the time, right?
Yes. I just have to, when I set up the calendar, I just need to, indicate if we have those snow days built in or we have remote days. Our students need 180 days.
Right.
So what do you mean, Deb? So if we hadn't, I'm lost there. If you put it in every calendar, we always done 2 emergency days, not snow days. They're called emergency days, correct?
Correct. Yes, we're calling them emergency days. You're absolutely right, Pat.
They're really called. They're not called snow days. That's just fine. We all used over the years because we used them. I remember we used them during Sandy, and it didn't start during Sandy. So,
yes.
The emergency days. You can build in 2 emergency days or snow days with either one, and we could have the option whether to use them or not. If we decided to use a remote day, then we take those 2 additional days and spread them out like they did this year. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So
you have to take into consideration if there is no power, if we get an ice storm, okay, and we have no electricity in our homes, we can't do remote instruction.
And we got
Right, of course, yeah.
building and it could lose heat. I mean, not saying it can, but I've seen it happen in new homes. But rental building lose heat for a day or 2. At the worst time, it always happens. We wouldn't have the option to close down, right? We'd have to take away a vacation day, correct?
Correct.
So I'd say leave the 2 snow or emergency days on the calendar.
Which we have. We have them on the calendar.
Right.
Right. So what was the question then?
The question is whether we want to really use them as snow days or go remote.
I would see how the year plays out. I mean,
Okay.
we don't know what's going to happen with anything. We don't even know about a mask today. How we going to know whether there's a
Right.
COVID next year or, some other thing come up. The flu.
This is the year that you can do this right now. This is a pilot year.
Right. So I think we would like to have the option of going remote on those days, but we would need to make that call when the time comes.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Our calendar will be set up with the 2 emergency days on it, because that's what you approved, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
I like the discussion because it's so nice not having the snowstorm, looking at Facebook, and people are unhappy and some people are happy, you know. At least we're all understanding what's going on. That's the big thing. That's what I like about the work session.
And how did doing those days remotely work for our teachers and our students? Were they successful work days? And did kids get outside to play when we did that?
Yes, as I said, their schedules weren't packed. We have, and we would post what our remote schedule would look like for both the junior high and the elementary school. And you didn't require kids to do art, music, or PE. Remember, those are preps for our teachers. If they're already home, you don't need to prep the teacher, or give the student, that class. So.
Right.
But it has to be just so clear, because it wasn't, I don't think it was clear last year, that if we use a remote day, it has to be an instructional day of learning.
Correct.
Here's a 5-minute assignment, take care of it, get it done.
No, the regulations are clear, Pat. It needs to be very similar to a normal instructional day.
Which was, it was plenty experience with this year now, with online learning.
Correct.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions about it? So again, we'll open this up for public commentary if anybody wants to call in at this time.
Right now, there's no callers on the line.
Okay. Thanks, Jody. And certainly if someone should call in later and want to go over one of these things, we can talk about it then too. So, okay. Looks like we're ready to move on to summer curriculum writing.
Barbara, I'm going to let Christine start this off.
Okay.
Okay. So the idea is to have some summer curriculum work done by our teachers and our administrators. The way I envision it is there's a large committee and then there's some subcommittees under it, basically the content strands. As you know, the literacy, reading and writing, the literacy coordinators and the literacy team has basically already started this work this year with their vision statement and aligning some of the curriculum, some of the old curriculum, and then building in new curriculum and kind of seeing where we need to go with reading and writing. They will be presenting the work that they've done this year at the next board meeting on June 21st. So they can talk more about that in depth. Math, science, social studies, and social emotional learning program. Those will all be subcommittees. The math, we have some movement in our math department, especially at the middle school. So we will ask our teachers who teach math at the middle school to be part of that team, as well as various K-5 representation to talk about where we want math to go. We're doing a yearly contract right now with Go Math. We want to discuss whether or not we want to stay with that particular program or with the next generation standards being bumped into next year. Do we want to use that opportunity to maybe look at other programs and see where we want to go with math? The big nut to crack, I think, for next year and for this summer is STEAM and science. We will have a few new staff members on board, and we are hoping to align our science and STEAM curriculum and integrate things a little bit more K-8. So that's going to be a major committee that we are going to be asking, board members to be on and teachers to be on and even parents to be on, and hopefully a couple of students as well, to really see where we want to go with STEAM and science and how. So we're not being redundant with it, but we're enhancing it in different at different points in the day. underneath different umbrellas, and really coming out with some project-based learning and, sort of going in that direction. As far as SEL, social emotional learning, especially after the year that we've just had, we do use Second Step as a curriculum, but we need to actually dive deeper into that curriculum. There are more components to it that we haven't used, and especially trauma-based components to that program that we haven't used that we think will be beneficial to the kids for next year. So that would be a committee that would include all of our clinicians and Mr. Lalio, and obviously others who would want to jump on board. So we would hope that, most of the curriculum writing will be done remotely. There will be some times that we can meet at the SYA after summer school for in-person sessions. And I've just I've taken a bit of an inventory verbally with some of our teachers, and many of them are available this summer and are really excited to do this work. So, either tomorrow or the next day, I'll put out an official sign up form for people to, join certain committees and really start fleshing out what the work is going to look like. And really, it's something that needed to be done. It's been needed we've needed to do this for a long time. It's just that time is always our enemy. And then of course, COVID hit. And we also need to do a needs assessment, and I'm going to bounce it back to Deb for this. Because this sort of dovetails into what the summer work will be. And we're hoping what we get out of the summer work is some nice standards-based aligned curriculum. Again, that trajectory K through 8. And then of course we'll have Josh Odom, who has the high school experience, as our new AP, and he can inform us a lot about where the kids need to be when they go into high school. And we can sort of do some backwards planning.
Thanks, Christine. Part of the board's evaluation of me as a superintendent has been on curriculum audits. What are we doing at spring school that is good and excels our students? We looked at how our students do at the high school. We were actually getting their test scores, their grades, and their attendance, and seeing how they were doing. And we know each year we have some spring students that make valedictorian, salutatorian, and make the top 10. We're very proud of them. So again, with Josh, that should help us. But we're also looking at actually auditing our programs. And Peconic Teacher Center is looking at a couple of areas as well. They're looking at project-based learning, and they want to assist us with that. They are looking at civics. Civics is going to be a New York State initiative this year, working with school boards, working with superintendents, and working with our teachers to integrate civics into social studies. And then the other area, believe it or not, is phys ed, that has new standards coming out along with science. So we have support from New York State Education Department, as well as Teachers Peconic Center in Southampton. There is a local person that next week at the June 21st, we'll be asking the board to help us as a professional developer and as an auditor of our curriculum, as well as at that June 21st meeting, approve the staff members that will be doing curriculum writing. So our focus really is shifting to really digging deeper and having our staff do the heavy lifting with some support from our administrative team and from the State Education Department or Peconic Teacher Center with their resources. So we're not in this alone, but we have support of our faculty, and of course, doing what's in the best interest of all of our students.
If I could just add for a moment, this is the beginning of a long journey. This is really the beginning of probably a 5-year curriculum writing plan, 3 to 5 years so this is sort of the exploratory stages. So I don't want to give you the impression that we're going to tie everything up in a neat little bow this summer. I think this is just the beginning, and it will get the ideas flowing and, everybody's, opinions and expertise involved.
Right, of course. Well, when we hired Deb, we told her that this was one of the things that we needed to get looked at. And there was a list of things we gave her. And, between the building and doing other things. And as you say, it's like this, I'm so happy that you can finally, there's the time to get around to this and take a real look at it, because we know that it's been a while in coming, and it's been on everyone's mind, I think, including the board. And, it sounds very promising, the ideas you have and the way you're planning on doing this.
Christy, good information. I would really be interested in actually seeing what that 5-year plan looks like once you get your feet on the ground with this process. I think it's important to have an extended plan, and sort of an outline of that would be helpful to see where you are and where you're planning to go with this as you go through each of the years, implementing what teachers come up with. I think that helps everybody see where we began this and where we're going to end it.
Does anyone else on the board have a question?
Deb, is civics a pilot program?
Civics is an initiative out of the state education department. We teach civics, but there's going to be specifics that they want us to cover, and how you cover that material is going to be, I think, the work that we need to do.
But it's not something that needs to be like up and running like necessarily next year. It's kind of like a multi-year thing that we're working towards.
Yes, absolutely multi-year. The state education department does not expect you to initiate, a full-fledged civics program. They are going to offer professional development. They're going to look, again, like we said, looking at what we currently are doing and kind of seeing what we're missing. Like, one of the things that the state has looked at in the social studies curriculum is the Asian history. Do we teach enough of the Asian history? So we're not going to be the only ones looking at this. There's going to be a bigger group looking at this. I would say it's coming out of the social studies department for the state education department.
Right. But to me, that's different. That's more like history and not civics. I mean, civics is a separate program, and it always has been. I think I told you when I was cleaning out my mom's bookcase, I found what I thought was her civics textbook. It was actually my grandmother's. It's from 1914. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, civics was taught in our schools for a very long time. And when did it fall by the wayside? Was it like in the 80s or, before then? I mean, it certainly used to be part of American curriculum to have a civics class.
I don't know when it changed, Barbara, but right now it's not looking like that's the recommendation for a separate class, but outlining focuses for instruction to make sure that you're covering all of the topics. And government, local government is so important. Christine, did you have?
I just wanted to add, I know one of the main focuses is civil discourse. That is definitely what they're going to have a New York State seal of civics that students will need to graduate. I believe they're trying to make it part of the graduation requirements, not next year, but in the next several years. So it's mainly at the high school level, but if we can teach into it, obviously it's important to teach it K through 8. But again, like you said, in addition to history, it's more talking about very complex issues and very inflammatory issues in a respectful, civil manner, almost like debate, but also, with that government twist in there, and how to be good citizens, of the country, and how to have civil discourse. And that obviously came out of current events.
Did they specify what grade levels, the grade levels they're looking to do this in what program? Is it going to be high school level, junior high level, or is it going to be elementary going up?
They said the seal itself, the New York State Civic Seal, will be at the high school level. But, obviously the kids are going to need a foundation of it before they go into the high school.
And they haven't written up the curriculum yet.
No, it's brand new. Yeah.
Assuming you'll keep us updated and the public updated of what's going on.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So if did I already ask if anybody was going to call in about this? Again, we are open for public commentary if somebody has a question regarding the curriculum development we've been talking about.
There's still no callers on the line right now.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Jody. I think that's almost it for this evening then. The other item on our agenda is June 21st. Is our meeting going to be in person or continue to be virtual? What are the regulations at this time?
Regulations, I think, what is it, the 27th? Is it the 27th? It seems like every other month it's been the 27th, the governor's orders. I would like to do our last meeting in person only because we're recognizing several teachers who are getting tenure.
Yes.
We also have several individuals who have won scope awards this year, and we have plaques to present to them. I thought maybe we could hold it in our old gym while it's still the big gym and kind of say goodbye to that existing gym. You know, you have the exit from the outside. You know, you have plenty of space to spread out. We can be unmasked probably for that meeting. You know, when you speak, you'd have to put the mask, you know, on when you're not speaking, you know. It's up to the board, but, you know, that would be my reasonings for having it in person for the last official meeting.
I like the idea of in person in the gymnasium. I think that'd be great. You know, we don't have a huge turnout. There's a huge gymnasium in there. But the caveat is that I know we open a house September, first week of September. Is that going to be for public? If not,
The ribbon cutting?
yes.
I think it'll be by invitation, but it will be a variety of individuals invited, students, parents, dignitaries. And then I think we have to see where we are, Pat, with our schedule, and see if we can do visitations to the building so that the public can see the building. You know, as long as the building is safe, open it up, you know, kindergarten orientation, maybe bring in a couple of grades at a time to visit. But we have to see where we are with construction.
Yeah, because I mean, one of the I'd like to see, besides the students who are going to attend that part of the school, but also the community members at some point be invited in there on a night, one night when it's safe, to see what the public has given us money to do. The community gave us the money to build this school. They should be invited to see this school. We don't do nothing.
Absolutely.
Really nice.
So we'll have 2 open houses, one open house for parents and another open house for community members. It's a great idea.
Great. I would be okay with going on the 21st if we're doing it, you know, in the gym. And certainly we would still be, I think East Hampton's already doing a hybrid version of still remaining on LTV, allowing people to call in that way so they don't feel like they have to come in and order it in case they have a question.
Yes, they are.
What's everyone's thoughts on that?
In person,
I'm fine with the gymnasium.
the last meeting, sure.
Sounds good to me, Barbara.
Okay, great.
Thank you. We'll make it very nice.
And also the calendars on the website for the Board of Ed are also updated. So if anybody needs to go in and see what the future work sessions and board meetings are, they're all updated for the whole school year next year.
Oh, thanks, Julie.
So if anybody needs to know what's going on, they're all updated. And the vacations are on there too.
Okay.
Barbara, I know it's not on the agenda. I know we're just about done. I know we got stuff. I just want to, if Deb could help us out. Transportation's been an issue the last couple of weeks of the buses being late due to lack of drivers. You know, whether they're sick or whatever. You could update on that. I mean, some parents are concerned about it, and so am I. That, you know, 20 minutes late for a full bus load, one way or the other.
Pat, we opened with a full complement of drivers. If you remember, in December, a driver left us to go to Florida. We were never able to replace her. Recently, within the last 2 weeks, a driver had an emergency situation and will be out the rest of the year. So that has put us behind. There are no drivers out there. We have one driver that is studying, one individual that's studying to take his road test. So we're hoping to get him trained through Riverhead as soon as he passes his permit.
So we're looking, is it going to be until the end of the year that these buses are going to be later without that many drivers? Have we come up with a solution or an idea?
So we are okay with this one driver being out, but if you get a second driver out, that's when we're behind. And that's when a driver has to do a double run.
Yeah, I know. So I'm looking at, I mean, I noticed in the last couple of days, you get the text that bus 1 and bus 4 are going to be 20 minutes late, which affects, as many students on that bus and the families on that bus, if the bus is late or early. I don't know if you thought about, can we combine and run with another run somehow, part of that run? But if it's going to be the school year?
Unfortunately, with COVID, Pat, we can't put more than 41 children on a bus right now.
And those buses are full with the 41. I'm assuming you'll check that out already.
Yes, they are.
Should we notify I don't know. I'm just thinking of an idea. I mean, if these parents, there's how many kids? There's 44 kids late every day on those days, correct?
Correct. Pat, the call this morning from the bus driver came in. Remember, if we don't feel well, if we have a bellyache and we're close to a bathroom, we're okay. If a driver feels like they can't drive that bus for whatever reason, they have to call out. And sometimes they think they're going to feel better and they don't feel better by the time they have to ride the bus,
No, I'm not. I mean, we encourage them to take off if you don't feel well.
Yes.
A lot of students. So I'm just looking, we got 3 weeks left, and we know that's going to be, I don't know, I think what I heard you say was that we're short a bus driver till the end of the year.
Yes.
So one route is short a bus driver.
And if nobody else calls out, we're okay. It's when that other driver is sick, like one of the bus drivers is 12 months and she's foregoing her vacation because this other driver is out, to help us out. And if somebody has a doctor's appointment, they're trying to change it. But if they wake up and they don't feel well, that's a different story. But they are all working with us as best as they can.
No, I know they are. I know that. I'm just trying to figure a way to alleviate that problem so a bus driver doesn't feel that they have to come in or miss a doctor's appointment, which is hard to get now. When you get a doctor's appointment, it's not as simple as it was last year. I'm just trying to find an alternate solution that we can help them out.
Yeah. Well, we even have Marion driving a minibus. So even our supervisor is driving a bus.
Okay. Just put it out there. But just in the text that I could feel the parents and complain about it.
Well, I'll put in a commercial right now, Pat. This Board of Education has approved paying for an individual's training for a bus driver, and their commitment to this district has to be for a year in exchange for that training. So if anybody is looking to get their CDL license with passenger authorization, please, call myself or Kerry, and we'd be happy to get you set up for your permit. And then the training takes place in Riverhead. So paid for by the district.
Thanks, Beth.
Thank you.
I know the bus drivers are trying. Like I said, I just, it's a lot on somebody.
Pat, they have been terrific. Our monitors have been terrific on those buses. And our kids have been terrific. And our staff assistants that stay late with them till 4:00. Your children are always supervised, when they're with us.
Mm-hmm. I'm good. Thanks, Seb.
Sorry,
Barbara,
once
you're
again,
on
I'm
mute.
talking with the mute on, sorry. Ugh. Okay, so we will need to adjourn this meeting and go back into a regular meeting, I believe, yes? So
Yes.
do I have a motion to adjourn our work session?
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then so I would like to call a regular meeting to order. It's 8:05. Amy is back. Do we need to do roll call again, Julie?
Yeah, I do see Amy's here, so
Yeah.
let's do roll call.
Okay,
Okay, Barbara Dayton,
here.
Dave Conlon.
Here.
Tim Frazier.
Here.
Pat Brabant.
Here.
Amy Rivera.
Here.
Okay. And then we only have one resolution, and I do have it written here. Do you want me to read it, Barbara?
Yes, please.
Okay. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves to follow the guidance of the New York State Department of Health or Governor's executive orders regarding removing masks outdoors, also known as masks off outdoors.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
I'm sorry. I have a question on that.
Yep.
Maybe it was, are we gonna be following the CDC guideline? Does that say that in there, or the governor's guideline? I didn't understand that one.
Governor's executive order or the New York State Department of Health.
Okay, I was under the impression we were gonna follow the CDC guidelines, not the governor's executive order, but the CDC guideline. Because we followed that to open school.
I
So
think in New York, it's actually the New York State Department of Health, but it
Right.
would be delivered via an executive order from the governor's office. Is that correct?
correct. And what the New York State Department of Health did was ask the CDC if they were okay with unmasking. And they said, yes, only outdoors.
Okay, that's why I was confused. Okay.
And the
Okay.
state hasn't actually given the directive yet in writing. So this is just saying that when that comes out in writing, we will adopt that,
Yeah, no, I
but
understand.
not until that comes out in writing.
There's a motion.
All right, Tim saws a motion. Is there anyone got a second?
Second.
Okay, thanks. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for that. And of course, I will keep the board and community updated as I get the information. But if something comes in at 11 o'clock tomorrow, we will be able to go out without mask at recess.
All right, and just need to adjourn, Barbara.
Okay. Actually, well, Deb, are you going to email the school community to say that once we get written directive, then we're prepared to do that?
Yes, we'll get something out. It's not too late. I'll work
Right.
with Christine and we'll get something out now.
Okay,
Okay?
great. Thank you. Okay, yes. So on that note, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Thank you
night,
very much,
everybody.
everybody. Have a
Thanks,
good night.
everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks, Jody.
Thank you.
Yep. Good night.
Thank you. Drew. Bye.